Oops. There we are. Okay, then I misclicked. Anyway, welcome everyone to the Crypto Morning Coffee. Get my micro a little bit closer. I hope you got your coffee locked and loaded because we have some very interesting topics today, very important topics, and obviously we are going to start that out with Gary Gensler. Is he finally getting fired? Because there are certain movements in the direction of him getting fired. Then also there is a new Gary Gensler video that I have never seen before, that many people have never seen before, that are making the rounds, that I'm very, very excited to show you. We also have a Bitcoiner winning it big. That is just a super interesting story because I didn't know that this was possible. And then also we are going to look at Bitcoin and altcoin metrics and see where the market is going on, or going in which direction it is going, and some Veve updates, because Veve might be teasing us, although some people are not believing in it anymore. But all of that right after the intro. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another round of Crypto Morning Coffee. And as I said, very exciting news. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not a financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into Bitcoin, altcoins, or Veve. Also, if you enjoyed this type of content, then please smash the like button right now. And I want to thank each and every one in special that is on my subscriber screen here for supporting my journey in this way. Thank you so much for having subscribed. And I am just an idiot of not having corrected the little mistake there. But right after the stream, I have to do it. Anyways. Let's jump right in with the news to make the stream nice and short. So here we go, because the US lawmakers are filing the SEC Stabilization Act. And who makes the SEC apparently unstable in their eyes? It's Gary Gensler. And US capital markets must be protected from a tyrannical chairman, it says here. Obviously, we are reading Cointelegraph, so we are a little bit biased here. But nonetheless, we are looking at what they are doing. And that is very interesting because Warren Davidson has introduced that SEC Stabilization Act into the House of Representatives, announced on June 12th. One of the bill's main provisions is to fire Securities and Exchange Commission SEC Chair Gary Gensler, so he could be actually removed from his position. So that is good, and if you like that, then once again smash the like button. So Davidson said in a statement, US capital markets must be protected from a tyrannical chairman, including the current one. That's why I'm introducing legislation to fix the ongoing abuse of power and ensure protection that is in the best interest of the market for years to come. It's time for real reform and to fire Gary Gensler as chair of the SEC. So, there is more than just criticism. People are getting ready to remove him. And then also Tom Emmer is the co-author of the bill. And keep in mind that we have, or the US has, because I'm not sitting in the US, but the US has a lot of people, also congressmen, people from the Senate, House of Representatives, whatever, that are themselves invested or involved in crypto, like they are invested and involved in stocks and so on. So there are people that are getting hurt by that actually have a say, or at least the power to bring something on like this. So this could be where it's coming from. So take a quick look at the chat. Move the chat a little bit up here so it's not blocked. Good morning, Luke. What is going on? Good to have you here on the stream. Good morning, Eka Bounce in the house. Bones, not bounce. There are 616 gauntlets left that can be crafted. That is a good number, right? 616 gauntlets. They can be crafted, although they will not be eligible anymore for the airdrop. And everyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about Veve, obviously. Motili is also here. Good morning. Marwek is here. GM. Smarty Pants also here for his consecutive streak of live streams. Very good to have you all here. Thank you for being here. And we kind of can get excited about this, but wait until I show you the video of Gary Gensler that just has surfaced. So Emmer says the SEC Stabilization Act will make common sense changes to ensure that the SEC's priorities are with the investors they are charged to protect and not the whims of its reckless chair. And according to Fox News, the bill would remove Gensler from office and redistribute power between the SEC chair and commissioners. So a new chair and then also redistribute a little bit of the power. It would also add a sixth commissioner, so even more. This is funny, right? Because they are fighting projects with decentralization, the SEC and the right people apparently here in control now. They are trying to get more decentralization into the SEC now as a consequence. So a sixth commissioner to the agency, this allow any party from holding a majority on the commission and create an executive director position. So kind of a CEO or something like that. Although the lawmakers did not mention cryptocurrency in their statements, both Davidson and Emma are known to be pro-crypto and critical of Gensler's leadership at the SEC. And that right there is important to notice, because it doesn't mean that they will get the support from the other people that are not pro-crypto, right? So, but at least they are trying to get Gensler out. Bad faith, acting in bad faith, they say. And that's basically it. So then also, and this is also interesting, we had Mark Cuban coming out, who basically slams SEC's crypto guidelines as near impossible to navigate. So Mark Cuban is heavily in crypto. He's Shark Tank investor and so on. He's a very well-known face in the crypto space, and he basically says none of the elements presented in this page. So he is looking at an SEC document that basically suggesting that the regulatory a document on the application of the Howey test towards cryptocurrencies. None of the elements presented in this page are part of the registration process, which makes it near impossible to know with or without an army of securities lawyers what is or is not a security in the crypto universe. And that is designed by purpose, not because of the Howey test, but Gary Gensler wants it so. And Gary Gensler basically says that everything is already, we had that in yesterday's live stream, so if you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check it out, because that was also very interesting, that there's legislation underway at the same time that Gary Gensler says that everything is already in place for regulating the crypto market. So the SEC's framework for investment contract analysis of digital assets offers crypto firms guidance on determining whether federal security law applies to their digital assets. The SEC document explains how to apply the Howey test to digital assets to determine their investment contract status and how assets previously classified as securities could be re-evaluated. So, according to the SEC document, digital assets with fully developed and operational distributed ledger networks and those utilized as payment methods or for their intended functionality are generally not considered investment contracts. And that is where Bitcoin is not already, and that's why Bitcoin is so strong right now. not a security. But Ethereum would be. And we are going to see in a second what else we have there, because that is going to be very interesting. So the digital asset is offered or sold to purchasers at a discount to the value of the goods or services. The digital asset is offered or sold. So that is however, it stipulates that an asset may be an exception if, so this applies, the digital asset is offered or sold to purchasers in quantities that exceeds reasonable use, and or there are limited or no restrictions on reselling those digital assets, particularly where an AP is continuing in its efforts to increase the value of the digital asset or has facilitated the secondary market. So yeah, that is so vague that this last sentence here, everything is a security with that last sentence, right? So the commission added a caveat. These factors are not intended to be exhaustive in evaluating whether a digital asset is an investment contract or any other type of security, and no single factor is determinative. So that's why people are mad, because you basically cannot know what is a security and what is not, while Gensler is on board. And then we have another billionaire coming out, billionaire Shamath Palihapitiya says SEC covering its faults in regulatory current assault on crypto firms. So actually he is creating the theory that the reason for Gensler may be removed has to do with FTX. So it says here, there is one part of the SEC that frankly did not do the job that they were supposed to do by either following a few of these crypto companies or crypto businesses to go public, either as standalone businesses or as part of their business, such as Coinbase, Robinhood, etc. And then there is this part of the enforcement action after the FTX fiasco, which is a lot of CYA covering your ass by the SEC, especially because it looked like they had some cozy relationships with them. And so they are coming down hard. They are going to go and systematically dismantle the largest actors. So that's the reason why they are coming after Coinbase, after Binance right now, after Robinhood. And now it says the obvious place that they are looking now is the exchanges. They look at the custodial services. They will not approve any. And then eventually I do think it trickles into all of the staking services, and eventually it will touch the venture community and all of those firms and funds that had huge robust business in staking these crypto projects in order to get coins, like founding coins, and then being able to sell them. So yeah, that is a good theory, and there could be the point where you would say, okay, maybe that's also why Gary Gensler is being removed, right? Because then you have someone who actually would be responsible for not going after FTX and take everything with him. Yeah, that could at least be a possibility. But now they're trying to CYA, as they say here, covering their asses and going after all the other crypto firms just in case. And hopefully this is going to be stopped. Now, let's look at what Gary Gensler himself said a while ago, which is very interesting, because right now we have learned from the SEC documents that usually, so if there's anything where a company continues to increase the value or something that the underlying token is getting value, then it would be a security according to the SEC, right? Or the current SEC. And there is this point where you would then have to say that Ethereum is a security because of that current status of the regulation. But listen to this, because this is very interesting.
Over 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Why did I name those four? They're not securities. over 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Why did I name those four? They're not securities.
Okay, so as you have heard here, a couple of years ago, Gary sounded differently, right? He says that Ether is not a security in that. So that is aligned with what Hinman said. And by the way, today is the day where the Hinman documents are supposed to be revealed. So we will see what's in there. We will see what the XRP lawyers might have as grounds to defend XRP. We will see why the SEC is going to, or why the SEC fought 2 years, more than 2, almost 3 years, so hard to keep those documents sealed. We are going to see all of that. We are going to get that information. And if that information is good, that can spark a run on crypto. Because depending on that, we will see how big the option is, or the chances are that crypto is going to come out ahead of this. So with that said, we also have a lot of stuff coming up, right? So we have the CPI inflation coming up today, new CPI data. So that could be volatile. We have PPI coming up tomorrow, Fed rate decision tomorrow, retail sales on Thursday, jobless claims on Thursday, NY manufacturing index Thursday, Philly manufacturing index, and so on, consumer sentiment Friday. So this is going to be a week full of data, right? So yeah, someone says something in the chat, but again, my chat tool isn't loading quite well. What did you say? Gary Gensler is incompetent and extremely corrupt. He needs to be replaced. This is crazy, Dan. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Why doesn't it show in my chat tool so that I can read properly? Anyways, and good morning to everyone in case I didn't mention that. But yeah, it could be a very, very volatile week. So let's keep that in mind. Yeah, then also in the consequence we had from crypto investment funds, we have an 8th consecutive week of outflows. Unfavorable monetary and regulatory policy continuing to take a toll on the industry. So obviously your coins are going down if from the funds you only have outflows in the billions or in millions, let's say. Digital investment products saw outflows of 88 million last week, the 8th straight week of money exiting crypto funds, according to data from CoinShares. So that also is something that indicates that we are still in a very, very negative phase, and yet with all of that is what is coming on, we are holding pretty strong. So yeah, maybe let's look at this quickly also, because that is a comparison of all 4 cycles basically, or all 3.5 cycles, because that is the first one, and you see a pattern here, right? Because there are lines here there is a line here that implicates the stages of the bull cycle, bear cycle scenario, right? So we have the bear market in number 1, we have the consolidation phase in 2, and we have the bull run in 3. So right now we have already had it in the consolidation phase, and the interesting thing is in all of these cycles, passing this dotted line from bear market to consolidation phase actually takes more or less the same time, and that is the monthly chart that we are seeing here. So every candle is a month. So the red lines, they are almost all looking the same, and actually in the beginning there was so much volatility that there were some greens in the bear market, but right now last one and this one looks very much the same, and actually with only 1 month different, more or less, it turned green here. So that is interesting. And now we have actually also with 1 month difference hit that phase where we could see, and according to this consolidation phase, we should be seeing a sideways move that goes several months, right? So that is going to be a very boring phase that I will try to make as less boring as possible with you guys here. But we are seeing that there is this consolidation going on until next year probably. Good morning, Waldo. Good to have you here. Guys, 11 people here. Smash the like button for the metrics that are looking good. So this year, this big wick down is out of the ordinary, right? That's when the virus crisis hit us. And that is not usual, but you can see this here as well. Here's I think it's even the same month, somewhere where the Mount, I don't know if that was the Mount Gox or if Mount Gox I think was in there in the bear market, so like FTX. But anyways, we have a similar pattern even there, but this one hit very hard. So unless we are getting a big black swan event, this could drag out sideways, or side and upways like here, for months, right? So we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, more or less. Also, this one is interesting. Days until halving scaled by realized price. 320 days until halving. We have not had new cycle bottoms then, even with the crash that I mentioned before, not happening. We are usually heading into more upside until then, as we had it here. So we should be at least coiling up here into the halving before we get anything like a pump. But again, also this shows many months to go where we more or less have a volatile sideways movement, right? So yeah, I think that that is interesting. Last one for now, that is also interesting. That is the US dollar. So it's not Bitcoin. That is the USDT dominance, and it marks head and shoulders. So if it falls, we get a pretty big altcoin season. So everything is with the stochastic, and everything is implying that US dominance could be falling. But this chart, it takes a while, right? Okay. So before we get into economy or into Veve, and we are looking at some charts, but I just wanted to share this quick story with you that I read yesterday. It is very cool, in my opinion. And that is, as crypto burns, solo Bitcoin miner wins BTC lottery. So what has happened? That is very interesting. This guy has a miner running, a very small one. A solo Bitcoin miner solved block 793,607 on Friday evening using what was like a single ant miner S9 rig. A miner of this size would only solve a block roughly once every 450 years. So if you have, I don't know, let's say 7 people doing that their entire life, only one person would have an event like that, right? That's what it says. So he won the lottery there. The prosperous miner earned 6.175 BTC, $160,000 or 200 times the price of an ant miner. So that miner paid off for him, and I don't know how long he's using that one already, but that is very, very cool for him. So stuff like that. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little bit, a little bit affected here. So that's what happened. Now let's get into Bitcoin quickly. So it seems like this trend line is not valid anymore, but we might leave it up just to see if we get a bearish retest or if we're just continuing in this flag. So let's keep more an eye on this flag. So as we see here, we are still in this flag. We have perfectly bounced out of this flag. This was a fake out, but here we have perfectly bounced. So if that all turns out, and there's so much that can turn out good right now. So let's sum this up again. What can turn out good and make us bullish here? We can have a rate hike pause. That in itself would be bullish for the market. The Hinman documents that coming out today could be bullish. CPI data could come down more than expected, would be bullish, right? Would imply that no more rate hiking is needed. Would be implying, if it comes down hard, that a pivot is closer than we think. So all of these things are going to come out in the next days. So we have this little bounce in anticipation. However, if it's not coming out that way, if negative stuff is continuing to pile up, we could roll over and then we could form an entirely different pattern to what we are anticipating. Just to show you this, where's my other cup? I had a cup here that more or less looks like this. Not so bad, by the way. So the mega cup and handle pattern, as if you are going back, is still in place, is still in play, and yeah. So we are going to observe how this is going to be looking in a couple of days and weeks. So that could be happening. G-Money is here, bringing us the good morning coffee. So let's take a sip together here. I for sure needed that coffee this morning because I was sitting and reading stuff up late yesterday. But anyways, so also we are more like 17 people here right now. At least that was a show. So smash up the like button. Everyone who is new hasn't done it yet. Thanks for the like. And with that, we are also going to look at the dollar. Nothing has changed here. We are still very hopeful for a lower. Why is this always bugging out, please? We are still hopeful for a lower high here in the DXY in the dollar chart. It looks pretty good for that. So that could be happening. Lower high there and then collapse. And that's what we want to see. Altcoin market stabilizing. That is also good to see. We see it in the altcoins. The altcoins are mainly green right now. Then also I want to get a little bit into Veve here. So we are getting this comic drop. We have another comic drop announced, which is the Iron Man comic here. I think that's more of a classic one. That secret rare looks pretty good. I like these white label secret rares. So yeah, that's Veve NFTs right there. And yeah, so probably this is, I haven't checked yet, but it's probably a little bit more value here. And I'm probably going for that if that is a scarcer one. But let's talk about this one here from Veve, because besides that this is a bad Photoshop, right? Look at this. I mean, this looks literally, I made that before the stream, right? But anyways, that's not about it. But they post GM, and some people are trying to manage their hopes. But they have never done this. So then Veve Magic says something's cooking. They say, yeah, eggs and bacon, as if that was just a normal good morning, normal GM. But it could be General Motors, right? It could be, because we know they have announced that brand. There's no reason for Veve to just randomly put out a picture like this with a GM. Because if it was about breakfast, normal morning or so, you could use something else. So let your speculations run wild what it is, because we could get ourselves a drop there. it's just speculation, but I think it's a good speculation with the General Motors. I don't know if it's Golden Moments. I doubt it. Golden Moments, General Motors, Good Morning, and so on. Yeah, I think it could be General Motors. But unfortunately, I have to say that, I mean, we can check Ecomi right now here, but unfortunately, I have to say that that's it from Ecomi and Veve. So there is not really much more to say. For me, the highlights are currently, or for me, the big things are currently happening in the broader crypto space, in the markets, really decisive moments that will decide about the liquidity of the markets and what they can fire into Ecomi and Veve. So yeah, let's see what you guys have to say about that. If you have to say anything, let me know. And we will see. Have they replied to anything important? Is there anything we need to see? We need to know? That's looking pretty good. A little bit of artwork there. Sometimes they are responding to something and that implies something different. Oh, actually that GM apparently was a response to something, right? So yeah, maybe there's something to it, maybe not. Who knows? But we are still waiting for some brands that they have announced a while ago. Yeah. So yeah, nothing super new from Veve there. Guys, I will make this shorter today, also to not senselessly produce a 50-minute video. So please, on your way out, smash up the like button. Thank you all that are here on the screen for supporting me. If you are in the chat, if you are here, by being a channel member. If you want to be on the screen, you can become a channel member. It's just for support purposes. There's nothing more attached to it than this for now. But we have a nice little community here already with the channel members, and you get your specific icon that you want and or the profile pic. So yeah, with that said, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon.